Hello, my name is Ken Alex, and I'm very excited to introduce a new book called Spiritual Awakening. This is not a book that's just hocus pocus or wild or crazy. This is a book of connecting with the deep things that are inside each of us, connecting with the things that were placed there for a purpose, and finding God's help to see those things being fulfilled. The new book, I really like the cover on it. You can see it's got a person wandering around, and the full cover shows a door is glowing, waiting to be walked through, but the person is unaware that it's there. And to me, that's a bit what spiritual awakening is all about. There are new choices for you to consider and unlock. There's another chapter called Fleeing Boredom, which is putting aside the things in the past that you thought were the answers to spiritual awakening, and they're really quite boring and quite useless. Well, let's leave those things that are unhelpful behind, and let's press into the next chapter, which is called Gaining Air, which is starting to have a sense of, yes, these things inside of me that are there, that need to find expression for me to be fully alive to who I am. Let's do this. Let's do this. Let's understand this. Let's grow in this. Let's explore this together. And finally, the last two chapters are giving fuel to that, finding God's help in unlocking and being who you're called to be. And then the last chapter is all about it's a whole new world. That as you are released to be who you can be, who you're called to be, and ultimately who you really want to be, I think you'll love your life being spiritually alive. Spiritual awakening is here for you. This first chapter in the book, Spiritual Awakening, is called New Choices. Now, I'm not here to persuade you, convince your mind of these things. What I'm here to do is to give you an opportunity to taste, to sense, to read, and listen to many of the experiences and things that I've come to understand. But it's you doing that. It's you sensing, it's you tasting, it's you considering these things, it's you inquiring about these things, it's you pressing in. Are you hungry to know more? Well, then I'm here to feed you. I'm not here just to give you a mental understanding. I'm here rather to speak to your heart, to speak to your spirit, so that those things that are deep inside can come forth. I think you'll thrive as we grow together through spiritual awakening. The first chapter is called New Choices, and the first poem is called The Season Has Changed. And you'll see an interesting picture where there's a gentleman is like a plastic sheet between his current life and what can be, and he's looking almost in disbelief. Can this really be true or not? Well, I think it is. And let's read the poem called The Season Has Changed. The season we're in has now changed. A spiritual awakening has come. Lifeless tradition is passing away. New adventures are waiting to be done. The season holds much mystery and wonder. Divine grace has been released to allow the secrets of both to be unlocked. The time has come. The time is now. The key to change is in new choices, to live out a divine way set for you. God has come to awaken your spirit, to know His heart and gain His view. Fresh creativity is appearing. A renaissance of art is released from above. Divine inspiration and fresh revelation from God's heart, they radiate His love. Seize the opportunity, embrace the change. In liberty, live out your destiny. Impact the planet with your grace. Change history and reshape eternity. The second poem in this first chapter on new choices is called Existing or Living. This is one of my favorite poems because this typifies how I used to feel a lot. That I was existing, but I wasn't living out who I felt I could be. Felt frustrated, and there were so many things inside of me that wanted to come out, but didn't have the strength or the ability or the drive or the passion to come out. And so this poem explains a bit of the process of shifting from existing to living. Living or existing, what's the contrast? I guess it depends on what is meant. If existing is just no energy apathy, perhaps for many, that's how life is spent. Apathetic coping seems to go quite well. I'm plugged into routines with little change. Won't shift the world, but still content inside. Why challenge the norms? Why be strange? But living must hold so much more. Relationships and heartfelt things. Finding an improved existence. Will romance make my heart sing? If God is there, what is He like? A transcendent meeting seems essential. Connecting with the Creator, knowing His heart, would sure open up untapped potential. I need to find much more than the same old, that different path that leads me higher. If God is there, then I must know Him. A divine walk is what I aspire. Don't keep me down or quash my destiny. Don't just waste my time existing anymore. Far past phones, TV, and social media, I will chase true living for what's in store. And I will sing my destiny song. Search until I find my soul's true rest. Seize the moments, live in passion, and shape history through being my best. At times we all need a bit of a inspiration. For some it's like a butt kicking, for others it's, come on, you're so much better than this. There's so much more you can achieve. And it's that kind of that kind of talking of truth that stirs you inside and says, you know what, that's right. What I'm saying is get connected with yourself. Find out what's inside of you. And come on, let's change. Let's be what you can be. This poem, it's a bit of a motivator. It's called You Fly Too Low. Come on much farther and higher. You fly far too low to the ground. There are many things for you to see, filled with wonder that will astound. Thrilling joy to be discovered as you plumb the depths of God's heart. Many adventures waiting ahead, needing you just to make a start. God's glorious empowering and vision, working with you in great might. Victories that you celebrate, seeing darkness and fear put to flight. Come soar up in the heavens. It's destiny's path set just for you. You'll love this journey of passion and know the joyous wonder and feel brand new. The fourth poem in this book of new choices is called What's Freedom Like? Now, I personally love this poem for a number of reasons. One is that it gives expression to, as I've pressed in, as I've said, God, I want to know you more. I want to know a freedom that you bring. I don't want to be bound by religious nonsense, but rather my heart wants to be alive. And what does it feel like? Well, let me give you some impressions of that right now. What's freedom like? Let me describe what freedom is like, more than a concept, a new life bestowed, where your heart's not sad or encumbered, and from their deep parts, essence flows. Like a bird in flight, fly high in the sky, exploring, discovering, enthralling and more, gaining new perspectives, loving your being, uncaged, unrestrained, free just to soar. We jealously watch the birds in flight, that we too would have zest and vigor. They do what they love, be what they love being, the grace and liberty we cherish and adore. How do we gain the wherewithal we need, strong in what we're ever made to be, undistracted, uncontrolled, a gift to those near, able to go beyond the norm, astound delightfully. I think we have little capacity to transcend roles. We need to embrace a divinely empowered existence where the extraordinary is common, fueled by grace, taken to a higher place, holy presence infused in us. For a transcendent life is a partnership sweet, where divine power flows, wonders now seeing, able to complete tasks set in our souls, living in the freedom destined for our being. The fifth poem in this first chapter is called Like No Other Life. Now, it's visionary, it's somewhat breathtaking, I hope. That I want to explain in detail through the poem what a life walking with God is like, what it's like to be spiritually alive, what it's like to have a sense of God's companionship. I hope you enjoy it as much as I enjoyed writing it. Like no other life. A walk with God is unlike all else. Nothing can come close to this life profound. No religion or human ideology has his empowering presence, which abounds. Face to face with God on high, beyond a theory or faraway sphere, this moment by moment encountering the norm, this awe-filled relationship is now right here. No religious mumbo-jumbo, no chance, not dreamed up and no go-between. Rather an intimacy, a shared passion, an unending embrace, joyous serenity. Holy Spirit living inside our being, a lasting presence sent from Jesus to enable us to achieve our divine destiny as He empowers, thrills, and delights us. Not an unknown universal power, not a magic spell or secret force, but part of the Trinity in heaven above, the eternal giver of life's true source. Grace is ours to savor and delight. More than mercy, it's God's presence here, unlocking creativity and possibilities galore. His glory is magnificent, wonder-filled, and dear. A divine destiny has been set before our time, ours to discover as to God we draw near. Our ultimate life becoming a wonder, by grace empowering, will quickly appear. An alignment from how we were fashioned, one of a kind, made truly unique. Of the profound future written in heaven, no person could articulate or speak. Supernatural joy in God's presence, abounding, uplifting, new heights untold. Such is the splendor of each adventure, partnering with God, seeing miracles unfold. Rightness with God, a heart on fire, God's great passion burning in our soul, bringing His goodness to a planet in need as we make His highways our great goal. Losing ourself, but then finding a new self, a new creation never seen on earth, gaining revelation of a splendid eternity. His truth reveals humanity's infinite worth. All things have become new, inspiring, a life beyond our imagination to realize, a sure hope. God's 2,000 promises to us is the walk with God before us to seize. I once went to a group of old people and said to them, there's 4 of them around the table, and I said, what's the meaning in life? And they looked at me with a sort of a stunned, distant look on their face, and they muttered, family, not money, family. They couldn't get past having not a clear understanding of why are they here, what purpose do they have, and what does family mean? And then they all started sharing their difficulties they had with their family, and I thought, wow, I hope there's a bit more to life that I discover than these people who are here feeling quite sad and quite alone and disconnected and connected in some ways, though, which was good. But let's talk a little bit about life's meaning. What is the meaning of my life? What's the purpose of turmoil and strife? To whom do I look to fulfill my quest? Where can I go to find inner rest? Who holds the key that unlocks the door to my awesome destiny and so much more? I don't want a futile plan made by man, but rather an inspired one from God's hand. I don't need powerless religion, as it's a trial, bowing and scraping while living in denial. I won't come to a God who endorses hate, but one of compassion to whom I can relate. I sense there's only one choice. I'll go to Jesus and lift my voice. He's the one who formed my being, and He's the one to give my life meaning. As we come to the 7th poem in this chapter of New Choices, one of the saddest things I find is people unwilling to change, to have the courage to say, I know there's more for me, but I'm not willing to take any chances to even explore it. As wonderful as the promise or the reward or the change could be, no, just back away. No, just leave it alone. No, there's too much confusion. And I think, man, that frustrates me for a few reasons. One is that I know that God is a rewarder of those who seek Him, but He doesn't reward non-compliance. He doesn't reward apathy. He rewards you taking the choices to be strong, you taking the choices to do something different in line with His heart. This next poem is called Containing More. And it talks about God comes to us, but just like if you pour something called an old wineskin that they used for drinking in the Middle East. You pour water into this wineskin and it would keep your water. But if you poured new wine into the wineskin, within a few days, as the wine aged, it would burst and everything would be lost. And sometimes in our life, if God wants to pour His Spirit inside of us, our old way of doing things, our old thinking, our lack of being spiritually alive would just blow us up. And so we need that new wineskin. Containing more. An extraordinary thing comes. It's now very, very near. The wonder and great awe of it will spectacularly appear. Can you embrace this change and experience this new too? Is your heart ready yet? Will this shift make or break you? New wine will need a new wineskin. Its power and potency are far too strong. You better get one soon. Your old wineskin won't last very long. A history-making time is here, like nothing seen or heard. An everlasting new identity upon you will now be conferred. Can you embrace this divine change? Seize the destiny's chance just for you. Set your heart and get ready now to be undone and altogether new. The 8th poem in this first chapter is called Who Can Find You? Meaning, who can find you, God? Sometimes when you look out, you see the snazzy productions, or you see the religious ones doing their chants, or you see the people with their fancy clothes, or you see the people on the poor end of town helping out. I see people like the Salvation Army doing great things. But who can know God? To whom does He come? To whom does He reveal Himself? Who can find you? The religious or the profane, those lost or born again, who will find the truth? Simple seekers or super sleuths? How do I fill my days? Same routine or the latest craze? Who can satisfy my aching heart? Where do I go and how do I start? I'm told it starts with you, God. One encounter will see me through, yet how do I know it's real? I want my heart on fire with heavenly zeal. Not religion draped in death, but adventure that takes away my breath. Jesus, come to me quickly, come now. Let me be with you always and show me how. This next poem is called A Different Path. If you see the picture, I think it's quite cool, and that everybody's going that way and yet somebody's going this way. Well, that's probably me. I seem to be made of different stuff from those around me that I meet each day. My thinking has an unusual slant. I need to walk in my own unique way. When I see others, often I see their heart. Their pain or their joy appears quite clear. But how do I connect with them? What do I say? I must not let this chance disappear. Through encounters that come to me, I can affect each person's destiny, expressing God's passionate heart for them. Who knows what the future might be? God, let me walk on this different path you've written about in your book above. May I delight your heart as I'm becoming a better expression of your amazing love. The 10th poem in this first chapter is called There Is More. I hope that by now there's been a bit of a stirring inside of your heart, a bit of a, I wonder what Ken's getting at here. To me, it's like an itch that needs to be scratched that you can't reach, or a craving to be fulfilled. But it's that restlessness that goads you on, that goads me on to say, I do want to know more. I have a groaning, a pain inside. It's like something needs to connect, not hide. What's really there? Will people stare when the deep things are first described? More than a desire, it needs to be free, as I feel it sensing and coming with speed, for it's a key part from within my heart. Read my destiny, it's on that screed. There are times when I catch a glimpse, a song, a poem, a phrase on one's lips. I know it then, I want it again. Too often the connection fades or slips. There must be something deep in my core that goads me on to seek all the more. I must not fail, I need to prevail until I find that place, a sphere or realm's door. Two markers will guide my way. The first is truth. On that path I must stay. I only want reality, not what others set for me. Unless my heart aligns, they're only passé. The second marker is when I come alive. No need to force or insanely strive. A natural just me fit, with creativity in it, where the buzz of excitement is a beehive. God, I sense this is what I'm made for. Please now walk with me and unlock that door. I'm ready for change, my life to arrange. I have a sense I'll be enthralled to my core. The final poem in this first chapter is called Things Have Changed. What I'm saying is that a spiritual awakening is not just a nebulous open to the universe, but rather it's a connection, a divine connection. And each day begins as a new adventure, new things to hear in my spirit, new things to explore, new things to understand. It's also quite amazing at times how I sense God's power just flow through me and both delight my heart, let me know I'm in connection with Him, but give me some things that I can share with others. Things have changed. I just encountered the living God. Something radical happened to me. My whole world has been turned upside down. I feel very different, alive and free. What's this wondrous transformation? Will it last for eternity? There's a voice that speaks inside with words of life flowing into me. A friend, a counselor, an amazing guide. He's revealing God's ways and truth to me, enabling me to discover God's heart and unlocking my divine destiny. Don't want to go back to my old life. The wasted years seemed like slavery. I want to stay free by Holy Spirit's power knowing God more as He knows me. So we've come to the end of the first chapter. I hope you found it a bit of a buzz, a bit of a questioning time, a bit of a goading, a bit of poking and prodding a bit. Calling you to maybe look a little higher, further, deeper, and discover more. It always encourages me that when I get away from my tiredness or laziness or apathy and say, God, I just want to know you more. I want to be refreshed inside of my heart. He comes and does that. And for you too, I believe. There may be some giants you need to overcome to be awakened spiritually. Giants like distractions, like your screens, like unfulfilled expectations, like religious thinking that may have been dumped in you, like your fascination with possessions. But from the perspective of eternity, what are the things I need to pursue today? And to me, that's a good question, because it helps me to focus on really what life is about and what am I called to be? Who am I called to be spiritually alive and spiritually awakened? Thank you.